A crusty old man walks into a bank and says to the teller, "I want to open a fucking checking account." The astonished woman replies, "I beg your pardon, but that kind of language is not tolerated in this bank." The woman leaves the window and goes over to the bank manager to inform him of the situation. The manager agrees that a woman does not have to listen to that foul language. They both return to the window, and the manager asks the old geezer, "Sir, what seems to be the problem here?" "There is no fucking problem," the man says. "I just won $200 million in the damn lottery, and I want to put my fucking money in this damn bank." "Oh, I see," says the manager. "And is this bitch giving you a hard time, sir?" A woman comes home and tells her husband, "Remember those headaches I've been having all these years? Well, they're gone. No more headaches." The husband asks, "What happened?" His wife replies, "Margie referred me to a hypnotist. He told me to stand in front of a mirror, stare at myself, and repeat 3 times, 'I do not have a headache. I do not have a headache. I do not have a headache.' It worked. The headaches are all gone." "Well, that is wonderful," replies the husband. His wife then says, "You haven't been exactly a ball of fire in the bedroom these last few years. Why don't you go see the hypnotist and see if he can do anything for that?" The husband agrees to try it. Following his appointment, he comes home, rips off his clothes, picks up his wife, and carries her into the bedroom. He puts her on the bed and says, "Don't move, I'll be right back." He goes into the bathroom, comes back a few minutes later, and jumps into bed, making passionate love to his wife like never before. His wife says, "Boy, that was wonderful." The husband says, "Don't move, I'll be right back." He goes back into the bathroom and comes back. Round 2 is even better than the first time. The wife sits up, her head spinning. Her husband again says, "Don't move, I'll be right back." With that, he goes back into the bathroom. This time, his wife quietly follows him in. She sees him standing at the mirror saying, "She's not my wife, she's not my wife, she's not my wife." Jacek Zelkowicz worked in a Polish pickle factory for many years. He had a powerful, almost uncontrollable desire to put his penis in the pickle slicer. Unable to stand it any longer, he finally sought professional help from the factory psychologist. After 6 months of intense therapy, however, the frustrated therapist gave up. He then advised Jacek to go ahead and do it, otherwise he would probably never have any peace of mind. The next day, Jacek came home from work very early. His wife, Sasha, became alarmed and wanted to know what had happened. For the first time, Jacek tearfully confessed to his wife his tormenting desire to put his penis in the pickle slicer. He went on to explain that today he finally went ahead and did it, and he was immediately fired. Sasha gasped and ran over to her husband. She quickly yanked down his pants and shorts only to find a completely intact penis. She looked up and said, "I don't understand. What about the pickle slicer?" Jacek replied, "I think she got fired too." A biker went to a bar and ordered a drink. As he sat sipping his whiskey, a young lady sat down next to him. She turned to the biker and asked, "Are you a real biker?" He replied, "Well, I have spent my whole life on Harleys. My mama was pregnant with me when she rode on the back of my daddy's Harley. Then, as a little boy, I rode on the back with my daddy until I finally got my own Harley. I've been riding a Harley ever since, so yes, I guess I am a real biker." She said, "I'm a lesbian. I spend my whole day thinking about women. As soon as I get up in the morning, I think about women. When I shower, watch TV, eat, everything seems to make me think of women." Then she got up and left. The biker was thinking about what had just happened when a man sat down next to him and asked, "Are you a real biker?" He replied, "I always thought I was, but I just found out I'm a lesbian." A 71-year-old man is having a drink in a Chicago bar. Suddenly, a gorgeous 19-year-old girl enters and sits down a few seats away. The girl is so attractive that he just can't take his eyes off her. After a short while, the girl notices him staring and approaches him. Before the man has time to apologize, the girl looks him deep in the eyes and says in a sultry tone, "I'll do anything you'd like, anything you can imagine in your wildest dreams. It doesn't matter how extreme or unusual it is, I'm game. I want $100, and there's another condition." Completely stunned by the sudden turn of events, the man asks her, "What's your condition?" She replies, "You have to tell me what you want me to do in just 3 words." The man takes a moment to consider the offer from the beautiful woman. He then whips out his wallet and puts 10 $10 bills in her outstretched hand. He then looks her square in the eye and says slowly and clearly, "Paint my house." On their way to get married, a young Catholic couple was involved in a fatal car accident. The couple found themselves sitting outside the pearly gates, waiting for St. Peter to process them into heaven. While waiting, they began to wonder, could we possibly get married in heaven? When St. Peter showed up, they asked him. St. Peter said, "I don't know. This is the first time anyone has asked. Let me go find out." And he left. The couple sat and waited and waited. 2 months passed, and the couple was still waiting. While waiting, they began to wonder, what would happen if it didn't work out? Could you get a divorce in heaven? After yet another month, St. Peter finally returned, looking somewhat bedraggled. "Yes," he informed the couple, "you can get married in heaven." "Great," said the couple, "but we were just wondering, what if things don't work out? Could we also get a divorce in heaven?" St. Peter, red-faced with anger, slammed his clipboard onto the ground. "What's wrong?" asked the frightened couple. "Oh, come on!" St. Peter shouted. "It took me 3 months to find a priest up here. Do you have any idea how long it'll take me to find a lawyer?" 3 Native Americans are living in the wilderness together. One of them is extremely smart, one is average, and one is extremely stupid. One day, it is the extremely smart one's turn to catch and cook dinner. He goes out and comes back with a bear. The other 2 are astounded and ask, "How did you catch this bear?" The extremely smart one replies, "I see tracks, I follow tracks, I see bear, I shoot bear." The next day, it is the average one's turn to hunt and cook dinner. He goes out and returns with a deer. The extremely stupid one is amazed to see the catch and asks, "How did you catch this deer?" The average one replies, "I see tracks, I follow tracks, I see deer, I shoot deer." The following day, the extremely stupid one goes out to hunt and comes back half dead. The other 2 ask, "How did you mess up so badly? Didn't you follow our instructions?" To which the stupid one replies, "I did. I see tracks, I follow tracks, I see train, I shoot train. Then it hit me." A bus full of ugly people had a head-on collision with a truck. When they died, God granted all of them one wish. The first person said, "I want to be gorgeous." God snapped his fingers, and it happened. The second person said the same thing, and God did the same thing. This went on and on throughout the group. God noticed the last man in line was laughing hysterically. By the time God got to the last 10 people, the last man was laughing and rolling on the ground. When the man's turn finally came, he laughed and said, "I wish they were all ugly again." Two bowling teams, one of all blondes and one of all brunettes, get on a double-decker bus for a weekend bowling tournament. The brunette team rides in the bottom of the bus, and the blonde team rides on the top level. The brunette team down below is whooping it up, having a great time, when one of them realizes she doesn't hear anything from the blondes upstairs, so she decides to go up and investigate. When the brunette reaches the top, she finds all the blondes frozen in fear, staring straight ahead at the road and clutching the seats in front of them. The brunette asks, "What in the world is going on up here? We're having a great time downstairs." One of the blondes looks up and says to her, "Yeah, but you guys have got a driver." During lunch at work, I ate 3 plates of beans, which I know I shouldn't. When I got home, my husband seemed excited to see me and exclaimed delightedly, "Darling, I have a surprise for dinner tonight." He then blindfolded me and led me to my chair at the dinner table. I took a seat, and just as he was about to remove my blindfold, the telephone rang. He made me promise not to touch the blindfold until he returned and went to answer the call. The beans I had consumed were still affecting me, and the pressure was becoming unbearable. So, while my husband was out of the room, I seized the opportunity, shifted my weight to one leg, and let one go. It was not only loud, but it smelled like a fertilizer truck running over a skunk in front of a garbage dump. I took my napkin from my lap and fanned the air around me vigorously. Then, shifting to the other leg, I ripped off 3 more. The stink was worse than cooked cabbage. Keeping my ears carefully tuned to the conversation in the other room, I went on releasing atomic bombs like this for another few minutes. The pleasure was indescribable. Eventually, the telephone farewells signaled the end of my freedom, so I quickly fanned the air a few more times with my napkin, placed it on my lap, and folded my hands back on it. Feeling very relieved and pleased with myself, my face must have been the picture of innocence when my husband returned. Apologizing for taking so long, he asked me if I had peeked through the blindfold, and I assured him I had not. At this point, he removed the blindfold, and 12 dinner guests seated around the table with their hands to their noses chorused, "Happy birthday to you!"